welcome to Impossible Live. Welcome back if you're joining us again. Delighted to have the most amazing returning guest. For those of you who have not had the distinct pleasure yet of meeting Jen, and Jen has got a story, one you should follow, pop into, check out, invite friends, and I'm loving this. And Mimi is looking at the clock and can't wait for our event. And Mimi, we want to thank you for being in the house. And Mimi, welcome to Impossible Live. One of the things I love is that Jen and I met in one of those Facebook groups that you're never quite sure where they're going to end up, a meta group. And in a really wonderful way, Jen and I met at a conference, and there's lots of hearts already, Jen. So our peeps are in the house, and thank you all for joining us. This one is so for you. And Sharon, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm noticing we're having fun today with which comments we can see and we can't see, but hey, y'all are here from Jen. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the magic that is Jen.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, Melanie. I know that so many of you here are here because of how amazing Melanie is. Just like you said, we met when we were in an online conference together, and your genuine, just how genuine you are really radiates. And I was like, all right, we need to continue this relationship. So many years later, it's so amazing to be here speaking to you about Black Women World Record, and something that I'm so passionate about. I know that you are so passionate about, and that you participated in such an amazing way. And so I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Jen is of course being delightful, Jen. Hey Marie, my sister from another mother, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. So, since Jen hasn't given you much of her amazing background yet, let me give you a little perspective from my viewpoint. And then Jen can fill in some of the blanks. So, I am the daughter of a scholar, but Jen is the daughter of two amazing scholars. And one of the things that I loved about seeing her in action at a conference just before the pandemic was listening to the care and grace with which she shows up and just really brightens our fragile world. And I reached out to her with one of those questions about courses. And I'm honored that Jen will laugh after whew, lots of steps. That course is finally coming out. It's on the other side of spring. How about that? So finally, so thank you, Jen, for lots of support and lots of patience. Jen, Black Women World Record. Tell us about Black Women World Record and why that world record really matters to so many others in our world of different cultures, of different faiths,
Yeah.
and different generations.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know what Black Women World Record is, it is the celebration of Black women and our academic achievements. So what we did on September 8th, so this past September 8th, 2023, which is the civil rights icon Ruby Bridges' birthday, very intentionally chosen. And so what we did is we went on the internet through, we had thousands of Black women who participated. We went on the internet, posted pictures of ourselves with our graduation certificates. So this was, GEDs, this was PhDs, this was, all of the different degrees that we held, also professional certificates as well. Like, we just celebrated all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it, and all of us. And so we posted pictures of ourselves with our graduation certificates. We added that hashtag Black Women World Record so that we could track all of the impacts that we made. And we made 1.4 million impacts online in 24 hours on that, September 8th. And so the whole point of this was about visibility, the visibility of Black women. And what we like to say is that it was about showing ourselves and the rest of the world who we already are that doesn't get seen in the way that it should, right? So I remember, Melanie, you'll remember back when we were getting ready for this for the world record, and we were all looking for our certificates, right? And so many of us were like, I don't know where it is. I know I graduated, but I haven't seen that paper in years, right? And so the world record, which was, we set the world record, right, for the most number of Black women with pictures of our graduation certificates uploaded to social media in 24 hours. But it was something about the preparation for that went very deep, right? So if you think about it, like maybe some of you watching, right? Do you know where your graduation certificates are? You know where they are. And if you do, where are they? Are they in a closet somewhere? Are they displayed somewhere? Like, where are your certificates? And I'm literally asking this question of you because, a big part of this world record was a kind of awakening for so many people about where not only what our education means to us, but how are we kind of interacting with that, and how are we representing that or not in our lives now, and why is that, right? Why is that? And so this unearthed a lot of stories. This unearthed a lot of, just like you were saying, intergenerationally. We we remembered what it is that we've achieved and what it took, not only ourselves, but those who came before us, what they were able to achieve that allowed us to achieve the things that, the things that we have done in our lives. And then to actually proudly put that on display on the internet for the world to see was a really, truly deep and memorable moment.
It was fantastic. I really want to thank you for the intergenerational part of the experience, which I really wasn't expecting. So, really deep, rich conversations with my mom, who had 6 degrees. And as Jen would say, I was one of those. And really, Jen gave me lots of warning. I was looking in every nook, cranny, and file cabinet for the diploma. And I laughed because I finally found the diploma a month after the day as I'm getting ready to pack for vacation. It was in an old business case. And it was buried with some other conference programs and other educational materials. I laughed because mom was so organized. She had moved from the Bronx, where she was for 50 years, and all of her diplomas were in an organized drawer in a file cabinet that they probably no longer have the key to lock. So the real reminder that my mom generationally treasured education, treasured all those degrees, and I had no idea where my degree was. And the one I was digging up looking for was from the School of Performing Arts, which doesn't even exist anymore. It wasn't like I could order a duplicate. So it's a real reminder, as Jen's saying, in the stories of the search or the excavation. And ladies, welcome, ladies and gents in the house. Welcome, Lachelle and Cheryl and Roshni. Welcome back. And Mimi, thanks for beating everybody here. We appreciate you. I think one of the things, as Jen has reminded me of the intergenerational part, I actually invited our niece to participate because she had just graduated from Brown. And Emma's not feeling social media yet, you know? She's feeling it from the conversation she's having with her generation, not the conversation she's having with others. So she's like, I'd prefer for my photo not to be on this. And we're very proud of that degree from Brown, and proud of her. So it was really interesting to hear across the generations. But I loved hearing women's stories in Jen's community of women who worked hard to get their GED and some who now have their doctorates.
That's right.
Of listening to the journey as a woman, as a single mom in some cases, as the first to receive a degree, the first to walk across the stage, that responsibility or that new legacy that now your children, your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, your colleagues now know a little bit more about you and how you take a step. And I think that's one of the things that I absolutely, absolutely love. And Lachelle is so right. A lot of people have
Mhm.
lost our culture and our treasury, and you know in attics and basements, and destroyed in fires or natural disasters. And it's but I really love about Jen's legacy of work around Black Women World Record, and really just basically around Jen, is the reminder to acknowledge with gratitude some of those who led to the pep in our steps, some who supported the steps. I remember mom's degrees and education by the fact that when mom had a test, I had an activity bag packed and ready to go because mom was going to have a 3 or 4 hour test. The cool part was she usually would take me someplace really cool on the way there, like the UN or to a library or Central Park. But I really, really appreciate it. And Rajni, hey Leslie, welcome. Mosaic Nation in the house of co-elevators. And
Ooh.
you're right, Rajni. We had Women's Herstory Month, and I'm a fan of awareness months, but I'm also cognizant of those of us who take the journey the other 330 some odd days outside of it. So I love what Rashni's also saying, and welcome back, Rashni.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm so glad that you have brought up this theme about the stories, right? And I think, what Lachelle said is so significant, right? Because we, our history it's really up to us to preserve it. It's really up to us to preserve it. And so much of it goes, if we don't speak about it or we don't share it or we don't preserve it, it really is going to get lost. It really is. And so that's one of the things that I love about what we have done so far, right? Is that imprint online. So if you look up the hashtag Black Women World Record on Facebook, on Instagram, you will see pictures, just literally picture after picture after picture of a Black woman with her with her PhD, a Black woman with her GED, a Black woman with her, master's degree, with her bachelor's degree, with her, professional certification that she got just, a month ago, like all of these different things. And that's going to be on the internet forever. That will always be there. That will always be there. And that's a big part of what we wanted to create with this movement was that, yes, in the moment that that opportunity for everybody to be a part of it and to, the beautiful thing was on the day, because we're all part of this Black Women World Record, people were posting and then people were responding to each other. So it's almost like it forms this community, this larger, wider community of women who are just so excited to see what you have to post because of what it means to all of us. And that happened on that date. And then also it's preserved forever. We haven't even gotten into some of the other projects that we've got going on. We're actually creating a film right now. We're working on producing a film that speaks to the Black Women World Record movement. And again, for the same reason, to be able to preserve our story, to preserve our history, to preserve our herstory, so that it's never forgotten.
It is really cool too because in the stories I found the most delightful education in the process of listening to the courage, listening to the tenacity. People like to call it resilience, but boy, I heard some grit. You
Mm.
know, I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. There's another way. I will get there. I will get there. This will happen. And that legacy of inspiration and encouragement that it leaves for others. What I loved also about Jen's community is Jen's community was inclusive. And that part I thought was interesting for some of the participants as if they wanted to police the membership of Jen's own community. And I think, coming from the DEIB space or the DEIA space, and if you're not sure what those initials mean, let's hang out on another day. Reach out for a conversation. Let's chat. But I believe the B is most important to me because it's reminding me of the belonging.
Yeah.
And in Jen's communities, and just like I love to say in Be Visible communities, there's a place for everyone to belong. There's a seat for everyone at the table.
Yeah.
And Marie VB said it really well. We often do not celebrate our accomplishments and our abilities. And I think this was a unique, rare point to have those conversations across generations, especially in generations where I don't remember my grandparents having all of them having graduated from high school.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was interesting because the intergenerational piece. Okay, let me start by saying this: the inclusivity piece was a really important part, and that I thought a lot about. Right, so thinking about this. Okay, we're gonna gather Black women together, and we're gonna celebrate our degrees, graduation. Now, what are the parameters for that? Right, like what's included and what's not included. And so, that was something that I thought about for a while. And to me, it was really important to celebrate as many of us as possible. So it was going to be about education, right? But that was really important to include high school graduation and not just college graduation, right? And it was interesting because I had a lot of women come up to me and say, you know what? They asked me, does this include high school? Is it only college? So people, wanted to know about that and weren't sure what to expect around that. And I had so many women, both women who were college graduates and high school graduates, say, I'm so glad that you included all of us who have graduated in some form or another, because in so many different places, especially for high school graduates, they're not acknowledged.
Mm.
It's not acknowledged, and it should be. And it should be. Like, why isn't it? Why isn't it? And so a big part of this movement was about building something that did not exist in the world because um, because I just thought that it was important for it to be there. And then it was so amazing to have all of these other women who really appreciated the fact that this was a place for all of us as Black women who had graduated from whatever we had graduated from to be celebrated. And that was, yeah, I got a lot of DMs about that in particular, for sure.
Which is fantastic. So Jen, what's happening now? We were around for the 2023 launch kickoff, community building. You had an amazing celebration also.
Yeah, yeah, we've done so much. It's really amazing to think about it. Like, we launched the Black Women World Record. We started inviting women to participate back in, let's see, last year. So it was Juneteenth last year, June 19th. That's when we opened it up and you could register, right? So we're a really young group, but we've done so much already. So on September 8th, we set the world record, right? And so we had all, thousands of women part of it. We had, I think, over 3,000 women who registered for it. We would have these meetings every week so that, we would help everybody, help them figure out where their degrees were, and have them tell their stories about how they got those degrees and certifications and all of this. And then also to get to know each other. And then we started so not only on September 8th did we have this massive, amazing celebration, then we had women who were like, what's next? What are we going to do next? And, how can we continue to be connected? How can we support each other? Where can I tell my story? All of this. So we started to have, we started with weekly meetings, and then we've continued on a weekly basis, meeting and getting to know one another and all of this. So we've really started to create a community of women who, who really want to support each other beyond the world record itself. And then after that, we had a celebration in Washington, D.C., February 1st to kick off Black History Month. We knew we wanted to meet in person. We also did some filming for our documentary there as well. We dressed up. Oh, it was so much fun. Mel, I really wish you could have been there. But we dressed up, like we literally had women like in gowns and in traditional African wear, and just dressed to the nines. We went to the African American History Museum and experienced that together in DC. And then we closed out, we closed out Georgia Brown's restaurant in Washington, D.C. I don't know if anybody's been, but it's a Black-owned restaurant, delicious. Closed it out, had a party, a DJ, food. I mean, it was amazing. And we celebrated ourselves, and that part of that is going to be in our film, which I'm so excited to show you all once we release it. So now, like I said, we're working on the film. We're in production. We are raising funds for the film. We're getting sponsors for the film. Continuing with what the narrative is going to be, and all of the things that we want to share to that end. And yeah, right now, the film itself is going to be part of a series of world record films that we're already pitching to Netflix and other streaming services. We're going to be putting it in for awards. We're going to be going to, all the Black film festivals and getting this film and this story out there in a big way. So, and that's just what's going on in 2024. So, there's more and more and more to come from that. But it's just, I want to take our story as far as it can possibly go, impact as many Black women and girls around the world as possible. And so we've got really exciting things coming up in 2024 and beyond, truly.
So, Jen, is this the best place to learn what's happening next?
Yes. And I love that you put our link down there, so you can go to, this is my personal website, right? JenFranksAhaghotu.com. And Melanie has so kindly put it in, up on screen, so you can come visit our website. That is going to give you, it's going to give you all the information that you need to know. So it's going to give you more on the background of Black Women World Record, what we are about. You can sign up to be on our mailing list from there as well, so that you can get all the updates, make sure that you're a part of Black Women World Record as we move forward. And then also we are accepting donations for the film as well. So on there, you'll see a link to make a donation to the film. And so, if as you're listening to this, you're thinking, well, this is something that I want to be a part of, or this is something that I know, I have a community of women who I want them to know about this. I want them to be a part of it. I know one of the things that was so beautiful, and you did this as well, Melanie, was that so many of us invited our communities to be a part of this, right? So for all of you listening today, we definitely want you to be a part of it. So go to JenFranksAhaghotu.com, sign up, for our newsletter, and you'll get all the information that you need in order to be a part of the community and all the things we have moving forward. And then invite all of the women who you know, all of the Black women in your world to be a part of it. I know the women who brought other people, other Black women into the fold. This became a really life-changing experience for them. Truly, people brought, like Melanie said, their mothers in, nieces in, daughters in, communities in. Just there are so many women who are in your world who, if when we come and do this together, like I had somebody say, you know what, I've never been a part of something where all of the Black women in my life came together. Like this is the first place where all of these different women from school, from undergraduate, graduate, professional, other entrepreneurs, family, where we all came together and did something together. Like it had never happened before. And so this is something that really brings people together. Like Melanie said, it's inclusive, it's for all of us. And so the more of us and the more of the people in your world who you bring in with you, the bigger and better the celebration is for you and for everybody involved.
What I loved too was, and Sharon Ringer has a connection for you also. What I love in the process of having conversations with other community leaders, with other women, with other people in our family, was really learning what a wall we have in some case around educations and accomplishments. My mom laughed that I couldn't find this diploma from a high school that no longer existed. And after I gave up, here it pops up. So my picture in Black Women World Record is with one of mom's 6 degrees. What mom laughed was I learned how to cover the year with one hand and how to cover. I think there was another date on it, and she's hysterical. She says, people are going to be able to see it's not your diploma. I said, Mom, I told Jen I could not find my diploma. To not participate just wasn't an option, and she started really laughing. And she says, well, how many degrees do I have? I said, you have 6. I borrowed my mother's junior high school diploma, you know, because I
Wow.
figured it was one. I have 5 photos of her with other degrees, and we loved receiving your amazing book. So thank you so much for the timing of that. Beautiful, beautiful gift,
I'm so
to be able to share it. And from a perspective of love and light, I think people are hesitant sometimes to show up for things that can be global. They're hesitant to start projects or collaborations that they feel have tremendous impact. This is going to take a lot of time. This is going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of energy. It's going to take a lot of funds. I'm not sure. What I loved was listening to Jen pre launch and knowing that this would rise on a trajectory that is just amazing. And truly, while we're here, what in the world was it like meeting Ruby Bridges?
Oh, yes. There's so much to talk about, so much. Um, so like I mentioned, September 8th, when we set the world record, the reason that we did it on that date is that it is Ruby Bridges' birthday. And, oh gosh, she is such an inspiration, such an inspiration. I always knew about her story, right? But then through this project, just did more research and learned more about just more about her and her family and her experience. And, really every time that I think about the fact that she was only 6 years old when she integrated schools in New Orleans, and the fact that, all of the like vitriol that she faced and the, just, I mean, real actually violence, right? It's just, I cannot believe the impact that she had as a 6-year-old girl. And so then to think about, okay, Black Woman World Record is an extension of her legacy, right? And so if she can do that at 6 years old, we can show up for ourselves online. We can do that. And when we do that, then that pays it forward to all of these other women in the future. Like, there's already women in Black Women World Record who have now gone on to get or pursue at least another degree because of Black Women World Record. I've had women message me and say, my daughter was not really bound for college. She just wasn't so interested. But then she saw me celebrating myself and my degree, and now she's, looking into colleges, right? We have women who are like, okay, um, I got my PhD and I would love to mentor somebody. Like, please let me mentor someone. Who wants to be mentored? And we've had, mentorship partnerships just organically sprout. And so just it's such an honor to be part of Ruby Bridges' legacy. And so, like you said, I was able to meet her. I've been trying to reach out to her. Listen, Ruby Bridges, she's a busy lady. She's busy and she's very much in demand. And I went to an event in in New York City where she was being honored. It was the what was it? The Women's Hall of Fame. And she was being honored. She was being inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. And I went to the event and was able to meet her. I was able to tell her about Black Women World Record. She was so wonderful and gracious and said how wonderful it was. And so now we're working on actually having her to be part of our film. So just I mean, I don't even know. There's no words to meet somebody like that. Like, I was trying to, keep my cool enough to like even be in her presence. But I just kind of took a deep breath and told her our story. And she was really very gracious and lovely and said, that's really amazing. And yeah, and so, for me, I think I see that as the first step. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Ruby Bridges and we're besties. We are going to be doing all kinds of amazing things together in the future. And so, that's just the way that I think, as I think of world records. I think on that level of, building relationships with people and living your dreams. So I really believe that this is the first step on a journey with Ruby Bridges. And so, yeah, I'm just going to continue to nurture that relationship.
That is amazing, and thank you for popping in and joining and welcome to Impossible Live and sending some love and support. I think the really cool part too, as we're talking about the stories, I had no idea that a black and white picture of mom in a yellowing newspaper was a picture of her from a 1958 march on Washington on behalf of integrated schools. So I want to thank you because these stories would get lost. We hear pieces of them. We didn't necessarily have a lot of people around to celebrate them. My mother was the first woman in her immediate family, to go to college. She and my uncle Junior, they were the two Graham designated. Mom said they got out of household chores and everything. Because yes, my poor Auntie Ann says, I was the kitchen girl. Your mama was the books girl. And how generations support that. But she said she went with her fellow college students, with other educators and other students from City University. And I think I really want to thank you for the chance to celebrate. We really try to show up in not in a more positive light, but in a light where others can find some inspiration, some encouragement, a story, some hope. We have so much of the opposite.
Yes.
And I really want to thank you, Jen, for popping back in just to share more of your story.
Yes, it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. And I agree. The whole ethos of this is joy and celebration and love. That's what it's about. And just like you said, in so many different places, we don't see any of that related to Black women. And listen, there's a lot of things that are challenging about how our place in society, let me put it that way, is our place in society. And to me, this is the space where we create our own reality. This is where we create the world that we want to be a part of, the world that we want to see, the world that we want for our families, our communities, our, children. And we deserve that. We deserve that. And we build it for ourselves. And so one of the things I love about this is it has nothing to do with anybody else. Other people are watching, right? Other people are watching and learning and supporting. So when we had this celebration, and I see Georgia in the comments, oh, I love my girl, Georgia. Thanks so much for being on. So for example, she came to our celebration and she brought her husband with her, right? And then there were some other men there. There was a woman who brought her young son, which was so beautiful. Like, I can't wait to hear about how he talks about his mom when he grows up, right? And talks about that moment with her. And so we are happy to have people around us and to support us, but we have to be at the center of our own story. We have to be. And to me, at the center of that is joy and love and celebration, that all of the Black women who I know, that's what we bring to this world, and we deserve that. And so that's a big part of why we're here. We get to create that for ourselves.
I love that too, because from so many different perspectives, and especially, as a coach, and I fought it for decades, but in the process really of exploring deeply into human design and the conversation about our stories. It's Marie, if you're here, love, I need to finish that assignment. I need some help. And Heather Travis, wherever you are, look me up. I need to finish that homework. But there was an assignment during a challenge where we had a chance to kind of really tell our own story. And I got really involved. And it's funny, it's probably the mental fitness side through positive intelligence. I got really involved in the not my story part. And you're reminding me, all right, beautiful. Marie VB is there, that we're going to get together and I'm going to finish what the current story looks like. And I understand now what took me so much time to do it. And there are so many experiences in our world that kind of change our orientation or change our lens. And I really had my lens strongly adjusted this year.
Mhm.
So I want to thank y'all all. We're reaching out behind the scenes with prayers and warm hugs, and greatly, greatly appreciate it. But the legacy part of this, I wish I had had a conversation with my grandparents about their education, not just
Yes.
about their lives. My granddaddy was not well educated, but he would give me a book while occasionally deciding whether I could get on a stool to stir the hot lemonade that he was boiling on the stove in a very large pot. I was the spastic child. So they didn't want to give me something that I could turn over, you know,
Mhm.
easily. He would give me a book to distract me from my next request for the spoon. But I found it wonderful because I found out later from my aunts and uncles he never read to them. And here's a grandchild who he knows love books. And I can't even tell you what book he put in my hand, but that reminder to just really encourage someone's, it's beyond what Jen's doing. And Sharon says it on from a perspective of initiatives. And Sharon's got an amazing magazine, Jen. You gotta check Sharon out. Sharon, I promise you
Yay! Yes,
that
yes.
introduction will be in there. I promise. It may take me a few minutes, but I will get to it this afternoon. And for those of you floating around in traffic on your way to see the eclipse, stay safe, please. And as we're celebrating steps and energies, Jen, I know I will follow you anywhere.
You
What
too.
is next for the women who are just entering your community today, or next week after seeing this, or next month? What is a way, and Roshni's saying it. Thank you, beautiful Roshni.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Rashni. Amazing, amazing. Yes, so we have so much going on. We have so many wonderful things for you to be a part of. So what I would do, just as Melanie had put that link up there to go to jenfranksahaghotu.com. So the first thing to do is to go to that site and to get onto our email list, right? And then that way you get all the updates, you know about everything that's going on in Black Women World Record. So what we do have going on right now, we're looking for support with financing our film. So on that same website, you'll also see an opportunity to donate to the film. We also have, I'm sending out periodic emails so that everybody knows sort of updates on the film, how things are going. And then we also are going to be running on September 8th, coming up this year. We will be doing another round of the world record. And so, we're still making decisions in terms of, is it going to be an official world record? Is it going to be a, anniversary celebration? We are working on the details around that, but we have so many women who were not, for one reason or another, didn't participate with us the first time, who are getting ready, to be a part of it again, or to be a part of the second round. And so get onto our email list, and that's going to give you all of the updates, and look for that certification. Look for your certificate now. We had people who got in touch with their colleges and made sure that they had that sent to them, or, we can accept digital ones, and just make sure you start getting yourself ready, because on September 8th, this September 8th, which is really right around the corner, we are going to be celebrating again. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That we've got so much going on. But those are the main things. It's getting on our email list. And then we've got our, funding for the film, making donations for the film, and then also our September 8th celebration for 2024.
Sounds fantastic. We look forward to joining you, and especially now that I've located that School of Performing Arts diploma, and the reminder to also put it on multiple platforms as a unique photo to help easily, amplify the effects of Black Women World Record 2024. And Jen, thank you as always for love, light, for bringing some joy, lots of warm hugs, and some amazing positive energy that will continue, as Roshni said it, really to reverberate through all generations. I just thank you for making a space for grace, for your eloquence, and I've been having so much fun hanging out with your mom. So I will remember in the process also of helping us across generations to learn what we need to learn, what we need to share, what stories we need to listen to with care. We can be choosier about the stories we select to share and with whom we share them, and
Mm.
whom we help elevate your blend. So thank you, Jen, for really in that process, for everything you do. And really thank you, everybody, for joining us for Love and Light. Please share this with somebody that you adore And thank you, as always, for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, stay in touch, and have a magnificent day filled with opportunities and possibilities. And if you're on the road from that eclipse, stay safe. Headlights on. Please stay very safe today. Take great care, everybody, and have a magnificent, magnificent, magnificent day.